Welcome back to American Beef Ranch. Today we are feeding horses, and then I need your guys' help with something. Welcome back to American Beef Ranch. I'd like to say I apologize for the delay, and I've been extremely busy, and that's why I haven't made any videos, but actually it's just a whole lot of me impatiently waiting for somebody to come along and be a partner on the farm. But today we're not worried about that. I've got to feed the horses because it's been really nice. The weather has actually been quite warm. It's dried out, it's not wet anymore, but tonight it's supposed to start raining. It's supposed to rain all night, and then tomorrow it's supposed to snow all day. And so we're gonna have quite a wet mess again, and the horses are out of hay. So I need to get them some hay brought up from a haystack down over here. And we are going to do that. And then we've got to go look at a couple things, and I need your guys' help deciding what route we should go with some things on the farm. Okay, so the idea here is we're gonna try to get a single large square 4x4 bale picked up with just the bucket. Now I've done this plenty, but it really depends, because if the length of the bale is too long, which these kind of are, it doesn't work as good. But I've only got to move it one, and I've only got to go so far, so putting the forks on is a pain. But these bales behind me are top bales off of this stack, and they've got a lot of mold and deterioration from getting rained on. You can see that's kind of moldy, kind of nasty, kind of wet. So we have something we're going to use those for later in another video, so make sure you come back and figure out what we're going to use those bales for. But we're going to go right up to the stack up there and see if we can scoop up a bale. Well, we have the hay up here now, and I think you can see what I mean by if the bale's a little too long, it makes it harder. We ended up popping this bottom string, which was what's the bottom string now, it's the top string. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna cut the strings off in these clamshell bucket. I'm gonna use that to cut chunks of hay, feed them to the horses, and distribute the hay evenly. And then once that's done, I got some questions for you guys. we've got all 3 of the horses fed. Technically, it's enough to last like 50 days, but it'll probably last them a month. It's not the most efficient way to feed horses by far, and the hay quality is not as good as the stuff we were feeding before. So if it lasts them a month, so what's today? The first week of March. If it lasts till the first week of April, it's exactly what we want. If it goes a little shorter, it is what it is. But now we got to head down here and check something out, because I want you guys, I need your help. Now, if you guys are tired of me talking about equipment, well, just hold on a second and give me a chance to explain, because our goal here is we're going to be farming, and we're not just going to be farming what we've been farming, we're going to be farming quite a bit more. Our goal is to farm between 450 and 500 acres of crop ground this year, most of that being a row crop on 22-inch rows. Now, why 22-inch rows? Well, first off, we're organic, and in this part of the world, 22-inch rows work really well for organic corn and organic dry beans. And the planters are the same. You use the same planter for dry beans, sugar beets, and corn in this part of the world in South Central Idaho. So that helps because that stuff is around and available. So either I can get one or I can borrow one, hopefully, and make it work. But we still have a need that we want to fill. We want to have our equipment. We don't know if we're going to be able to, but I'm not sure what route to go, and I'm hoping you guys can help me out. Now, this tractor behind me would work, and we do own it. The problem is it needs $5,000 in repairs just to move. The second thing is the set of tires that are on it right now won't work for what we're doing. And the new set of tires is going to cost about $17,500. And then on top of that, we've got another probably $10,000 in a GPS system. And some people are going to say, well, you don't need GPS. You can use row markers and stuff like that. Well, first off, most of the 12-row 22-inch planters around here do not have row markers, and it's hard to get row markers. And second off, we're also planning on using the tractor for our fertilizer cupping and being able to spread fertilizer and apply other things. So we need to have a GPS system. And honestly, anything we're moving forward with is gonna have GPS. It's gonna be a part of what we're doing, especially in the future. So we wanna go ahead and take care of that. So anyway, for 35,000 bucks, we could have this tractor pretty much in shape to plant for us, and that's fine. The problem comes with, for $42,000, I could go buy a Case 7140 and with a brand new engine down the road. It would need tires on top of that, but still it has a brand new engine in a Case 7140. The other thing comes with, this tractor only has 177 horsepower. Now, I'm not saying it's a slouch, but what I'm saying is my idea here is I'm only one guy, and I want to be able to cover ground as quickly and as efficiently as possible. So that means having wider and bigger implements. But with wider and bigger implements, you need more horsepower. So in my mind, if we get a row crop tractor that has about 250 horsepower, we can easily and safely pull a 25-foot disc, roller harrow, pretty much anything we need to pull. But on top of that, if I was to buy an additional four-wheel drive articulated tractor at a really low cost, like, you know, a Steiger ST325 for $20,000, that has a lot more horsepower. I can use that as my main tillage tractor, because in an organic farm, we are going to have forms of tillage that we're going to use until we get the soil to a really high level. So tillage is going to be a part of what we're doing. But I could use that ST325 to do most of the tillage work. But if something was to break down on that ST325, I could jump in my planter tractor, go ahead and finish what I needed to finish to get the crop planted, to get the ground ready to go. I just like that idea of having redundancies and having backups. Now, I'm not saying get rid of this tractor and, you know, ditch that entire idea and not have it around. I want to have it around. I want to spend the $5,000 to fix it, and at some point get a decent set of tires on it. But the other thing we have to keep in mind is I could spend that, let's say, $65,000 or $70,000 on two tractors, whether it's this tractor and a Steiger, or a, you know, somewhere in the late 90s, early 2000s, before we get into DEF and too many electronics, but still is a good tractor, whether it's like the 71 or 72 or 8900 series Case tractors, any of the other colors except for John Deere, because I'm not a John Deere guy and I'm not going to buy it. I'm sorry. But honestly, I guess I wouldn't say no either. Anyway, that's besides the point. The idea here is to set us up for the future, be able to move forward and do more of the work ourselves, because whenever we custom hire or whenever we borrow from people, we end up not being able to get the timing exactly right. And timing in farming is super important. And being able to do what you need to do when you're doing it can really affect your bottom line. But I can also consider one other option now, and I want your guys' ideas. I want your thoughts. Please put them down below in the comments. My last thought is I could ditch the idea of this tractor and the ST325. I could go rent or lease a late model tractor for somewhere between $25,000 and $30,000 a year. Now that is a lot of money, but the initial investment is still half of what I would put into a couple other tractors. Now that tractor is obviously going to be set up for row crops the way that I want it. It's also going to, the one I'm actually particularly looking at is going to have fat tires. It's only 2 years old and it has less than 500 hours on it. And so my idea with that tractor is it's late model. I'm going to have a warranty program. I'm going to have a maintenance program. So if I have problems, I can get it taken care of. But at the same time, it's big enough to do all the work I need it to do. And it's really a nice tractor and I can help put those hours on and spread it out. But also that lease payment is completely tax deductible. I can write off that lease payment every year, but I also have to take into consideration, am I doing enough work for that lease payment every year? Because I'm signing onto a contract for 5 years. And on top of that, am I even able in a position to get that lease and get it taken care of? So those are the things I could look at. So you guys tell me what you think. Should I, on the tractor, just on the tractor, should we fix this guy up, grab that old Steiger and just go to town and, you know, for about $55,000 or $60,000, have us a tractor set up that we can really do a lot of work with? Or should I buy a, you know, late 90s, 2000s tractor, good hours, good engine, you know, get a set of tires on that, and for about $75,000 or $80,000, have two tractors that I go to work with? Or do you guys think I should just go ahead and, you know, fix this tractor when I'm able to, when I can, and go ahead and lease a modern new tractor, basically brand new tractor, at a good price, because the prices are pretty good right now, lease that tractor and use that for my farm? Now, keeping in mind, we're going to have quite a bit of work to do this spring. We are going to be preparing a bunch of new fields. We're going to be taking a bunch of gravity irrigated fields and turning them into pivoted irrigated fields. So we're going to have some plowing we've got to do. We're going to have several passes, I'm sure, with a disc and a roller crumbler. We also have to prepare all of the fields that we had last year, and we have to hopefully prepare a set of lease fields that are really close to us down the road. But we really don't know yet. Not everything's set in stone, but we're going to farm more acres this year, and we need the equipment to do so because it's super important for us to get the timing down pat. But guess what? If it doesn't work out, we'll just continue to borrow and rent equipment as we can from our family members, and we will get the job done. But if you were in my shoes and you had the money to spend, what would you buy? Tell me down there in the comments below. God bless. Have a wonderful day. We'll see you next time on American Beef Ranch.